you're most welcome to this, which is the 20th in the series of Let's Talk Equine, and of course the first for 2022. So happy to have you all with us wherever you're joining us from this evening. My name is Wendy Conlon. I'm an equine specialist with Teagasc, and this webinar is being recorded this evening with the hope to post it on our website in the coming days. So let's hope the technology works and it'll be there for reference for anybody who needs to go back on it in the next few days. So you're all very welcome, as I say, to be here this evening. You have a Q&A tab, or you should have a Q&A tab, which you can find at the bottom of your screens. And I'd really encourage you this evening, particularly this evening, to submit your questions using the Q&A tab. You can do this as we go along through the evening, and you can also do this towards the end of the discussion this evening. So I'm delighted to be joined this evening by Emma McCabe. Emma, I hope is still there in the background. Emma, you can come on and join us here and unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for giving up your time to be with us here this evening. We really, really appreciate it, Emma. And I know that this is an area where I think me included is going to learn this evening, because it is an area that is constantly on the move, on the change, and certainly we can all be learning tips from it. So thank you so much for being with us this evening.
Thank you, Wendy. Glad to be here.
Good. And of course, I should say that you have your own business, Epic Management. So you're a marketing company, and you do a lot as far as helping businesses, big and small, in terms of managing their promotion, their marketing, creating their brand, building their website, engaging with their social media, and all of the other bits and pieces. And that's something that I suppose for all of us, it's no matter whether you're in my role, or whether you're a breeder or a stud owner, or whether you're a rider or a producer, or whether you're simply selling rugs or cleaning rugs or whatever it is, having a digital presence these days is critical, really, isn't it?
Absolutely, Wendy. Yeah, it's definitely it's ever changing, and I think everyone knows now. So I started Epic Management, I won't go into the whole spiel, about maybe 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, it was really on the cusp. The internet and online was really kind of exploding, but the equine industry is very traditional in the sense that it is very much behind every other industry. So it really needs to start moving forward, and it's been pushed and shoved, whether it liked it or not, onto online now. So it's a case that everyone needs to start learning more, start accepting that they need to have a presence online, whether it's a big presence or a small presence, but they need to be online in some shape or form, and to understand that, and to try not be ignorant to it. So everyone says, oh, I don't know anything about that, and that's okay, but you have to kind of at least try and understand the basics of it. You don't have to know everything. I still don't know everything about it. It's constant learning, but it's a case of opening your mind a bit to try and get your business, start the presence now. As they say, when's the best time to start? And it was yesterday. So that means just, starting now is the key.
And I think certainly, COVID, for all the negatives that COVID brought, I think it probably brought a lot of positives and a lot of kind of, kick into the digital stream over the last, 2-3 years in particular.
Oh, hugely, yeah. The COVID really hit home with sales and everything being stopped, and travel, and the usual people being able to deal and promote themselves in person stopped. So that has really, and that's every industry as well, not just the equine, that everything is online now. So whether we like it or not, we need to start building. Everyone needs to start being more aware. And the big thing that I want to do is equip everyone, because I'm not able to help everyone or, give my attention to every business. So what I want to do is equip everyone with at least the basics. And, we offer that. We do come in and do some consultation with bigger brands. We obviously come in and look after them completely and do their socials and websites for them. But there is ways for you can do it yourself, DIY situations. So that's kind of what we want to do is spread the word and just give people the tools, And
I should really mention as well, I mean, your credentials as far as, the brands and the businesses that you are working with. I mean, your you're hanging out at the top of the pyramid, as they say, with, you know, the likes of Cian O'Connor and Jack Ryan and, you know, Broderick Stables and Ballypatrick, in other words, and many others that are, you know, Harry Charles, etc. You're working for some big names, and, you know, but at the same time, I've seen you do work with, you know, the smaller yard, the smaller enterprise as well too. And I think it'll be interesting to talk about, you know, how that can resonate, you know, that kind of work for the smaller person as well. Can I just say to Emma, you seem to be joined into this meeting twice. Yeah, for some reason you're trying to join in on another connection as well.
Someone might have right, okay, yeah. So someone must have clicked the link.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll.
That's all right. You can work away and share your screen there for the moment.
Okay. It's
all right, because whoever it is has the video off, so it's fine.
Oh, good, yeah. God, it could be my mother now.
It's all right. If it is, you're welcome.
Yeah, she'll share the video if you tell her now so we'll just say, please don't share the video. Can you see my screen, Wendy?
I can see your screen. Emma. Yeah. Perfect.
So shall we begin? Is there many people online? How's it looking?
Oh, we're looking good. So we are. You've over 100 participants now, so we want value for money now, Emma.
Brilliant. €1 for every one of them. Well, hello everyone. I'll get started now. So hopefully you were there at the start with that introduction from Wendy. If you don't know me, it's Epic Management, a marketing company specializing in the equine. So what I'm going to do tonight is just give you a bit of an overview on digital marketing and what you can do in your own businesses, whether they're, you know, large studs, small studs, if you're kind of family business, if you're a brand wanting to sell into the equestrian market. It really applies across the board, this information. So the best thing I could advise is have a pen and paper and just write down the things that are applicable to you, because what's on the presentation, I'll be speaking more to what's on the presentation. So when I say something that might resonate with you, make sure and write it down, because you won't remember it. That's writing down really does help.
And I think also as well, just to encourage people to send in your questions if you have them. If there's anything that's not clear or you want a little bit of extra information on, please do send in your questions.
Yeah, what we'll do after every slide is myself and Wendy will pause, and Wendy will ask some questions that you might, because you know a lot of the viewers, Wendy, so you can ask, you know, anything you want extra explained. And yeah, everyone please in the chat put in your questions. There's no such thing as a silly question, so please ask it in the chat at the end. I'll leave enough time that we can dive into some of them. So what we're going to cover is, first of all, your brand. So what your brand is and how to kind of create it and really identify it. Because when you're in your own business or brand or in your own business or company, it's very hard to take a step out and look in. So that's what we're going to do there. We'll cover social media, the big ones, Instagram and Facebook, and then creating content, some tips on how you can create your own content, the images and videos, give you some examples, and then we'll go into a Q&A. So we begin with your brand. So everyone has a brand, even if you don't think you have a brand. If it's the name of, you know, maybe your farm, that is your brand. You know, even if you haven't got a logo, I'd strongly advised to create a logo. Everyone needs a logo. We make logos, and it's amazing how whenever you create a design or a symbol or something that resonates with your brand, how you instantly become a business. You are then you're not just kind of, you know, thinking yourself, oh, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. You become an entity when you create your logo, and it really helps with the brand. So a lot of you already have logos at the moment. And what I'll say is that some logos need updating. So that's easily to do as well. There's a lot of facilities online. As I say, we do them also, but there's a lot of ways to create them online. If you just use Google of sorts, and there's different websites that, you know, give them a refresh, and it's even worth spending a few pounds. I totally advocate for people to spend on the marketing. You know, you need to invest in your marketing for what you're selling. Some people you could even see hugely invest in marketing, but what they're selling actually isn't that that good maybe, and you can see that. But there's some people who have an amazing product, whether that's an animal, whether that's an actual product, and don't do much marketing, but people are buying off the guy who's doing unbelievable marketing, who looks great online, but the product probably isn't as good as the guy who isn't marketing has a good product. So marketing is huge in general. You'll even see the likes of Coca-Cola, you know, the biggest brand in the world, they still spend 20% of their overall turnover on marketing. Huge, you know, because you need to keep investing in your marketing to stay at that level. So that's what I'd say to people who do a lot of marketing and have very well established brands. You need to keep marketing to stay at that level. The same as the people who are just starting out business, who have smaller businesses, need to market. Everyone needs to keep pushing themselves and reminding people that you're there. If you don't tell them, they're not going to just assume. So a logo is a real good helping to identify your brand, and it really just helps you use that to market everything. So with a mission is a kind of mission statement, what I advise everyone to write out for their business. What is your mission? What are you trying to achieve other than making money and being successful? What is your mission? Are you trying to supply, you know, really good products for what, you know, service? What are you supplying the products for? What, even that's horses, if that's, you know, studs. What is your mission? You want to get the best horses. You want people to achieve the best. You want to do some good in the industry. So you really have to write that down, what your mission is. Example for Epic Management, the mission is to help everyone, you know, build their brand. So, you know, we help with obviously all the different digital marketing, but that is the mission ultimately, is to spread the word, to help pull all brands and businesses up with and share information. So that's our mission. And then unique selling point kind of builds into that, a USP. So what is your unique selling point? Are you based in a beautiful location in the west of Ireland where your horses eat the best grass in the world? You know, what is your unique selling point? And again, you can apply that to a product. So example, I'll just keep taking Epic Management. Epic Management's unique selling point is that we are born and bred in the equine industry. We know for many, many years, we are one of the first agencies to start in the equine. We've got huge, you know, masters, you know, degrees and everything behind us. So that's our unique selling point, is that we know what we're doing and we're the best in the business at it. And so what is your unique selling point in your business? Try and identify that. And lastly, with your brand, is what is your value add? So when you're pitching to a client or trying to sell something, what value are you adding to that person, or to the person, to the customer who's buying whatever you're selling? And everyone's always selling something, whether you're selling stud, whether you're selling horses, whether you're selling product, whether you're selling yourself, you're selling something. So you have to be giving value. What is the value that you're giving to your clients, to your customers? Whether that's even your service of connecting people, that's the value. You're sharing your knowledge. You know, so if you identify those 4 things, you've got a really good base for building and creating your brand. So when you have your brand, and even if you already created it and it's there and it's in the ether, take a look at this again and really write it out and strengthen the brand that you already have there with these 4 tips. Really helps. And when you have this, you know, you can see the beautiful Hannah here has all the Epic Management gear on her. We're able to use it in logos, and people then start resonating it. And actually with the Epic Management, we started with just the writing, the Epic Management writing, because I wanted it really simple. I wanted black and white. I wanted, you know, a blank canvas for everyone, because I didn't want it like a busy logo. Now there is some busy logos that are beautiful, but it suits that brand. I wanted something really clear, sharp, you know, bold. So then when the business got better and got more popular and grew, I knew I needed an icon then. So then it's only in the last maybe year and a half, 2 years, that I have the EM. I don't know if you can see there's the EM that's at the top, the circular icon. So we use that a lot more now. So people are starting to get much more visually aware of that, and it's just a stronger logo now. So, and I might even adapt it and grow it more in the future. However, because businesses are always evolving, always changing, and that's a huge thing that I constantly keep going back and looking at the vision at the mission statement, looking at the unique selling point and what is the value add. Because if you kind of get lost in your business of what are we doing here, if you keep going back, if you can go back to those and kind of nail those down, you really have a strong business no matter what you're selling. So Wendy, do you
And I think that's like an interesting point, Emma. I mean, I suppose firstly, things that strike me as you're talking there is, how often is it when you start to engage with a new client yourself, how often is it that people are kind of confused or not, haven't really thought through what their mission is or what their unique selling point is. And I suppose the second, add on to that, if you have a business that has been established for, I don't know, like decades perhaps, and you're now looking at, maybe it's been a generational business, perhaps even, be it a stud farm or be it whatever kind of business, and you're now looking at it and thinking about, oh, I'm going to refresh the logo and I'm going to change this and I'm going to change that. Like, do people get concerned that they might, lose face with their existing established clientele?
Yeah, and that's understandable, but you have to evolve, and that's as, and you have to change. That's the only way to survive, is to be able to adapt to change. That's the kind of business strength. And yes, the business, if it is strong and has a lot of heritage and has a strong kind of base, that means it can go to the next level of a rebrand, and it really can lift it into the next state. That's even more reason. It's more kind of a, there's no reason not to update. I'd say to that. And the big thing is that if you have your mission, that should carry through with your rebrand anyway, and that'll, and people don't get stale, because everyone's always looking for the new thing and what's new. So if you are kind of really and kind of very, what would you call, old heritage and very, at the top of your industry, you need to update yourself and be like, remind people why you are the best, remind them, because no matter how big a business or small a business, the cash flow needs to be coming in and you still need to be running at that level. So that's why you can never just rely on your laurels, as they say.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well answered, Emma.
I go off on tangents now, so you'll have to control me a bit, Wendy. So, and a good thing there about, I don't know, of just of interest, there's a thing called an elevator pitch, that some people would have heard of. So an elevator pitch means you need to be able to sum up your brand on an elevator ride. So if you think Dragon's Den are one of those, when you get into the elevator and go to the, up to the second or third floor, you need to give whoever's in that elevator with you the pitch of what your business is by the time you get to your floor. So that's a good kind of judge.
That's a very good tip. That is, yeah. You
So,
need to be clear and concise in your thinking, and you need to be able to nail what you do.
What do you do? Yeah, because there's a lot of people, ask, what do you do? And especially in the equine industry, everyone keeps asking, can't, not majority, but a percentage, still can't wrap their heads around epic management, because it's just such a new thing and such a, helping people with their marketing. But it's what I can see, because I'm so passionate about it, I think it is critical for the industry. And I can't understand why, people aren't, obviously we are extremely busy, but I can't understand why people aren't, the fire's not lit up under them to be like, oh my God, we need to get our website on point. We need to get our social medias, because you see with online now, the metaverse and Facebook, that's going way, way above what we're going to talk about now. But everything is digital. Everything's going online. Money's online. People are living online. So that is where the kind of people are going to start bartering and buying everything online, So you need to start now getting onto that, into it, Scary, but that's that is the future.
I might still be a little bit of a dinosaur.
That's the worst, is that we are studying in epic management, have to learn about VR and the metaverse. And this is like, I obviously am online and no digital, but I still obviously I ride horses myself. I'm big into nature and not online. I always try and put the phone down for like a certain period of time to try and relax my mind. But I have to now get a VR set to see what's happening, because you have to keep up with change. I was saying to Wendy earlier, guys, that I've interns working with me now, because the 19, 20-year-olds are way ahead what I'm at. I'm a dinosaur even in what I'm doing. You need to
that's scary for my seat to hear.
yeah, but And I don't want to overwhelm or scare anybody, but it's the case of just, even if you can, stretch and expand your mind slightly and try and even just start building yourself online, that's a huge step. You don't need to have all the bells and whistles, but if you can just get on the train,
we're on the train tonight, so let's keep going.
I hope all them numbers aren't dropping off now.
No, not yet. They're growing.
Yeah, they're growing. So we'll go on. We'll start with social media. So I don't need to tell everyone how important social media is, and that it's no longer, even in businesses, it's no longer just given to the intern or whoever's kind of, the youngest in the office. Can you do Facebook? Can you do the Instagram? Like that, those days are gone. There needs to be people need to know what they're doing, because that is what everyone's looking at. That's what everyone's looking at on the Instagram. Even when I started with Keen, he didn't have an Instagram, and now it's his number one voice and his number one kind of platform, Facebook. So that's, I've kind of put it in, not in format as such, but Instagram for the equine world is absolutely blown up. It's huge. You have to be on Instagram no matter what you're doing. So Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp are owned by Facebook. Again, there's some people who know all this information, but I'm going to kind of just do an overview and keep going down to very broad information here, and then I'll go into more intricate information. So everyone kind of try and stay with me, even though if you know a lot of what I'm saying. So Facebook own Instagram and WhatsApp. So Instagram, they're not working against each other. They're all working for each other. But Instagram, they're really pushing it. So that's where you can put videos of your horses up. You put images of your stables, images of your product. That's where you can do just so much. Instagram is absolutely vital. So people just need to create an account now, tonight, if they don't already have one. It's just absolutely vital, because that's even become the new Facebook. Facebook used to be the first the go-to, which it is. That is your shop front window, but it's very hard. I don't find the information on Facebook. I'm bored of Facebook. It's very hard to keep my attention on it, because it's just not fast enough. People's attention span is something like 1.7 seconds. So you need to capture that instantly when you're online. Facebook, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot happening, a lot of text, but it still is an absolute must, because when people go to buy, they need to see your Facebook. So that's your shop front window that you need to always have decorated. You have to have the information up there. And then a website, again, why a website is key is that's when people Google you. If they want to find out what if you're a horse stud somewhere, if you're, selling a product, a one-page website, that's where, you need to be for Google to connect with you. You need to be on a website. You need to have something there so that you come up and be like, okay, this person's selling this, and okay, this is who this person is. It doesn't have to be.
Is it kind of like an anchor that legitimizes you in a way?
Absolutely, Wendy. Yeah, totally legitimizes, so people feel safe when they're buying from you. That's what it's all about, is building that kind of trust. And when people see that you have all these different setups online, that's where the trust is. Even like, you can say for the equine industry, a lot of people be like, oh, I don't bother with that online, sure, I know everyone and everyone knows me. But you still need new customers, still need new clients, and their clients are watching, where your products are coming from. And if you're not online, that's when the doubt starts building in and people get, concerned, let's say. So a website, even a one pager, I would strongly advise. And WhatsApp is huge. Like, people need to be on WhatsApp. I am hoping that everyone on this call is on WhatsApp. And with WhatsApp, you can have a business account. So you make sure you have your professional, whether it's a logo or image of yourself in your profile, and then you have your information then on your bio on your WhatsApp. It's a social platform in itself, and you can join chat groups. That's where everyone sends their videos, all that kind of stuff. Another great, just for video transfer, I'll tell you now, is WeTransfer is the best for, I'm sure a lot of you know, but that's great for sharing big files, and sometimes for free. And sometimes WhatsApp doesn't take, if you've a really long video or something, it might not take it. So that's the other option if you're kind of stuck WhatsApp. And then I haven't got it up there, but we will briefly talk about it, because it's down the line, I think, maybe for you guys. But TikTok is the next generation, and that's what the whole kind of next gen is on. And the next gen, when people say, oh sure, it's only for kids, the kids are your next clients. Those kids grow up, those kids are buying your products, you know, so you need to get speaking to them. You're selling horses for them to ride, you're selling horses to the dealers who are selling to these kids, you know, so you need to I'm not going to say you need to get on TikTok. It depends what business you are. If you're anyway of an established business, I would say create a TikTok now. Even if you don't understand it, just get your account there and start doing some research. Go on it for half an hour, you know, every second night or something. The danger with TikTok is if you go on it, you're stuck there for hours, because it really does pull you in, because there's video after video after video, but it's all video. Are you on it, Wendy?
No.
You go on it now. That's what a bit of homework for everyone is. Just have a look and have a scroll of it this week at some stage and see what you think. We will show it.
We'll show you TikTok. But just a question, like Instagram, you know, Instagram is very visual, the photos, images, etc. And just you know, and I mean, I know the message keeps getting drummed out. Instagram is the place to be. It's bypassed Facebook, etc., etc. But I guess from my seat a little bit, sometimes it's kind of, when you're trying to share a reasonable amount of information on a social platform, like, is the whole idea of Instagram really to kind of, again, drive the passage back, the traffic back to the website?
Yeah, it's trying to secure that, you know, sale or get people engaged. For example, if you had to put up a video promoting this webinar, if you had to put up a short video of as you are now with the beautiful horses behind you, a 15-second of, hi, Wendy here, we have a webinar tonight on, you know, join, click the link. That would have been, we would have 500 people, 1,000 people on now for sure, because that instantly engages people, you know. So that's the kind of, you need to push yourself out of the comfort zone to do that video to promote.
I'm already pushed out of my comfort zone here anyway. Go on, let's help me. I'll keep going. Let's keep going.
Yeah, but little things like that make huge progress. And you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all the ring lights and everything, you know. So that's those little things really.
But this is pertinent messages. I get this pertinent messages for. I'll still call myself a dinosaur in this realm, but they're pertinent messages for many more out there who are in the same seat as myself, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, but you know your social
type of business.
Yes, and everyone's different, and everyone kind of shies away. Like, no one's a dinosaur in it, you know, because before it used to be only people who were specialists, only young people. Like, we're all dinosaurs moving along, you know. There's so much to learn on it. So you don't have to know everything about it. You don't have to be a complete specialist. You just need to get on and get with the system, you know, of what's happening. So
just somebody has just asked to emphasize again, WeTransfer is WeTransfer, WeTransfer.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's I live by that. So any, you know, big files, and what you do in WeTransfer is use the link. It asks you if you want to do send it in an email, but it also gives you an option to get links. So you upload your video or your picture to a link, and then you know, copy and paste the link then into your WhatsApp and send it to people. Yeah. So WeTransfer is great. Okay, so we'll move on to Instagram. These are your kind of top, if you can kind of get these nailed down on Instagram, it's on point. Your profile pic, it needs to be, what is it you're selling? Is it a horse you're selling? Is it your logo? Your profile pic is what people are seeing. And as well, make sure it's clear. The Instagram is very small, so it needs to be kind of up close. Ideally, people want to see people. So if you are the head of your brand, the head of your business, people want to see you. So like me, if you have a clear background here and just a floating head, that really does, you know, stand out in a profile picture. Or if it's your logo, a real strong, just put the icon of your logo. Example, Epic Management, we just have the icon, not the full text, because it's too small. So always try and have it bold for your profile pic. Your bio on Instagram is your, I'm going to go through it now. I'll show you my Instagram now. Your bio is your biography, essentially. So that's the intro that you have on the top of your Instagram. So that is, you know, what, again, your elevator pitch. What do you do? What do you sell? Where are you from? You know, who, what, where, why. When in doubt, do the 4 W's or the 5 W's. You know, who are you? Where are you? Why are you doing this? What is, you know, so just that's a good bio. And it can be changed, whatever your new product is, change your bio. Where are you now? What's happening now? Update your bio. Don't be afraid to play around with it. Because that's what people see when they land on your page. And so images and videos are huge. On Instagram, you can put up 10 images at a time on it in like an album situation. You can tell so much of a story with image, you can put text on your images, but yeah, it's very much image and video orientated, which is you're trying to just capture attention. And your reels are huge. I don't know if anyone, some people will know reels, some people won't. Reels are the competition to TikTok. So Instagram, as I said, is owned by Facebook. TikTok is a Chinese company that Instagram and Facebook are, or TikTok and Facebook are competitors. So they are very much, extremely competitive in this field, because TikTok is what the next generation are on. And that's where again, as I say, the next gen grew up, and they're the people who buy, and they're the people, they have the buying power. So Instagram has come up with reels, which is videos, short 15-30 seconds. You can put a minute now of a reel that just information. So reels are really flying up the algorithm and the feed, so people are seeing them more. And all the reel is a video, is a short video. And then your captions, again, are very important. Your captions is what you write under your posts. They're very important. They have to be clear, concise. Emojis are great. They can, grab people's attention. Don't roll on. That's for Facebook. In your captions and Instagram, just get to the point. What is this? Say something, engage, be a real person. Don't be a robot. You don't need to, gone are the days that you have to be really corporate. And, everyone knows, like, everyone's working from home with kids running around, and everyone's human, at the end of the day now. And that's a huge thing that COVID's brung out. So if you can show more of a personality through your Instagram, you're going to get more engagement. So that's Instagram, Wendy.
Yeah. Like I say, I haven't engaged so much with Instagram personally myself, but I know I have to jump that hoop and get in there. I tend to use, personally, I've tended to use Facebook more. I think there's a lot like me, and I think there's many that like me need to do that jump and just get on with it. That's certainly something that we need to give attention to. But you can have feed between the two, so you might explain that now better than I. So the two can talk to each other, so you're not doubling up on your jobs as well.
Now, the expert in me would say you have to do it separate to have a point.
Well,
but
if you're just starting,
if you're just starting, then it's okay to put something in Instagram and it directly shares to Facebook. So that is, if you keep it kind of very simple, then that's okay. And it does, if you get into the rhythm, I find with a lot of clients, when they get into the rhythm of Instagram, they can't get off Instagram and go back to Facebook. And all they do is they just keep post sharing direct from Instagram to Facebook, which is fine. Ideally, I'd like them to go back into Facebook and take away the things that don't apply, but you can still,
completely hear you on that. Yes. I think a lot of people, there is the time that goes into all of this as well too, that people can sometimes struggle with as well, and we might touch on that a little bit later on when we get through all of these and making a plan and being smart about how you do this stuff as well.
And that's what it is, Wendy. It's what's achievable. I'm giving you kind of everything here, and you can, from your different businesses, take what you can do and what applies to you. Can you only do one post a week? Then concentrate and get that one post done. Don't over promise yourself by saying, I'm going to do a post a day, I'm going to do 3 posts. Ideally, the sweet spot is 3 posts at least a week. But if people can only do one, then make sure and do one. Be like Friday, put a reminder on your phone and be like, we're posting something today by hook or by crook. And then in that Friday, what you do is you'd kind of create a bank of stock. So you'd take a couple of images and be like, okay, now we have all our images, and have them in a bank saved in a folder on your phone, that every Friday when you need to put a post up, you go back to this folder and be like, right, we're putting this up for, whatever information it is. But again, some people with horses, they find, it's hard to get the inspiration for it, and they do it as it comes. But just do it. Let's see if you get a cute picture of a horse, lying in a stable, or a picture of it jumping really well. Don't go back. Don't say to yourself, oh, I'll put that up later. You won't. Put it up now. Stand there for the 5 minutes, if you can, of course, but stand there and just post with the name of the horse, where you are, and just post it. Go back later and tweak it a bit and put more information. But that's a huge thing, is getting that bit of discipline around it, and trying to do it, make yourself post now. If you always put everything on the long finger,
Can you schedule posts on Instagram in the same way that you can on Facebook?
I wouldn't recommend it. There is different apps that you can use, but it's too complicated. People first need to get set up first, down the line. I still wouldn't even schedule my clients' posts, because I'd be so protective that they need to be right. I wouldn't be able to release that control to think God knows what it'll post, or if it post the wrong picture or the wrong, something on it. So I would say down the line you can schedule, and Facebook you can schedule. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But with Instagram, I would post directly.
Just do it.
Yeah. And that's it. You have stories as well on Instagram that you can just take a picture and put it up, and it disappears after 24 hours. That's a big thing as well, just to get you in the rhythm of posting, that there's no consequence. It's not. And that's a big thing people think, is they overthink what they're posting. They think, I'm putting this out here and the whole world's going to see it and they're going to be judged and everything. You're not. No one cares. They've already swiped over to the next picture, so you just have to get something up there. You need to get in there with all the noise, so don't overthink your posts. We'll go through content now, but yeah, that's a big thing. Don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be perfect either. You just need to get your content up. Yeah, it definitely is a case of obviously, when you work we do, it's quality over quantity, but I would say to people starting off is get your quantity, get out there and just start building the brand to get content up there, So now we'll go on to Facebook. Like I said, that is your shop front window. So that's when people go onto their Facebook, they need to be able to see your videos, your images, your information of what you do, and have your link on your website there. It keeps you connected, and you need to engage. So on your Facebook, make sure and like people's posts, make sure and comment, get into a conversation, do that on Instagram also. But make sure when you see something you like on Facebook, do engage with it, because then you show up on other people's news feeds. So when you comment on something, even, something in your industry, make sure and follow and like everybody that's in your group, even competitors. Don't think I'm not following this guy because he's doing the same as me. That's to no avail. That's not doing you any good. So follow and see what he's doing and build the community. There's enough, clients and customers out there for everybody, so everyone leverages off everyone, as opposed to, I'm not going to, follow or like anything like that. But you believe the better response. Like, I engage with loads of marketing companies and I learn so much from different marketing companies, and everyone learns off each other. So you need to leverage and work together on it, as opposed to the old Irish way of, I'm not going to follow him, I'm not going to, give him any business, So you need to engage, or engaging really helps. And just asterisks there, you don't need to do anything here. This is just me saying that if I was in a consultation with you, this is what I would say. This is just advice. So keep it up to date, your Facebook, and share into your groups. Let's say whatever you're selling, there are so many groups on Facebook. I don't know if you know them, Wendy. There's loads of different groups in the industry. Breeders of this, sport horses of this, products of this, buy and sells, all that kind of stuff. Sharing into groups really builds a business. So first of all, join your groups, and then when you put up a post, share into your groups. You might have to get accepted of that. So groups are key on Facebook.
Just there, like you talk about, the following and the liking and all of that, but I suppose, the other side of it is the use of hashtags and tagging and all that side of it. And there was a question in here as well, too, reverting back to Instagram about hashtags and how many is enough, and how do you know what's best to use? And I suppose that question can relate to Facebook as well.
Yeah, so on Facebook, hashtags are obsolete. So don't bother with hashtags on Facebook. It's more the tagging. So you put the actual word at in front of a name. Sometimes it comes up automatically, but if you're tagging businesses and different people, sometimes it doesn't. So put up the at in front of it. With Instagram, hashtags are hit and miss. It's a nice to have hashtag. Some people do follow, let's say, like hashtag sport horses, equine, equestrian. Put your niche in, but broad ones don't really work. They're I think that it changes daily of what, you know, is the best number for hashtags, but I would just keep to what's relevant to you. I would keep to your, you know, if you just do 5, if you just do 2, if you just do 10, you know, last year it was 30, you know, but I wouldn't, 30 is people.
Sounds crazy to me anyway. Yeah.
You just need your own niches in there, tag your business. So when people look up Epic Management, they go hashtag Epic Management, at least, you know, you'd hope some of my stuff come up. So tag what's relevant to you, your location, your business, your industry. You know, 5 or 6 is great. But don't get too caught up in hashtags. Just get your caption right and your tags. Your tags are very important within Instagram. They really help. They really you know, tagging other businesses that pops up, and that's a key sharing point in Instagram, is tagging.
Was that another question, actually reverting back to Instagram as well? In that, is it more for use on the phone than on the laptop?
Phone, yeah. It's much more easy to use on the phone as well within the app. So I'd recommend, you can use it on, and you can schedule it on the laptop, but it's going to be harder for you to navigate. So definitely try and learn it on the phone. Okay.
There's another question here. As to which it's referring to. Do you think it's useful to add some personal content on your business page? For example, you and your horses at a show, to show your clients more about yourself.
It's all about yourself. It's all about that personal connection. That's you know, that's what I just was saying earlier. It's about showing who you are. Are you the face of the business? What are the horses doing? What's behind the scenes? That's what people want to engage with. Don't just put up your perfect jumping, perfect shots. Put them up, yes, but also put up who you are. People buy into brands. People buy into people. So if they like your team and your, you know, the interest, that's what they're more interested in. So absolutely, post everything.
That's it for the moment. There are some other questions relating to websites and logos, but we'll come back to them in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we'll go on to creating content. So the main ones are obviously videos and images, and they can fit into your reels and into your stories also. But these are just kind of the top tips I'd give for your videos. So videos, do them in landscape for your Facebook, you do them in portrait for your reels, but a lot of the time landscape for selling and for showing any horses. Make sure it's kind of zoomed in also on the horse. Don't have it too wide that people can't see. Another good tip is actually, it's not up on the screen, is for focus. If you tap on your phone, so let's say you're videoing, if you actually tap on where the horse is or the person is, that'll focus in on them. So let's say it's a bit blurry, so tap and hold, it'll focus into them, and really helps. Keep your videos under a minute. I always remember the attention span of people is really, really low. So
and it's getting worse.
Getting worse, yeah. So a minute to me is even too long, but have to keep it, yeah, try your best to keep it under a minute. Don't over edit. Don't think it needs to be all flashing, you know, bells everywhere. Yes, editing is good. Like I'm going to show you a long video now that we did. I'll not show you the full of it, but it was for a sales for a foal, and we did quite a lot of editing on it. But that's what, you know, the client wanted, and it wanted all the bells and whistles. But that's because we had high quality images and high quality content. If you don't have that, if you have bad quality images and content and start putting flashes in it, that's not going to work. You know, keep it simple, keep the edit cut, you know, to the horse jumping, do your bit of a slow-mo. That's all you need. Have the horses clean. You'd be surprised what people think, oh sure, just jump them there. Take the time and clean your horse, brush him, make sure he's tidy, stick a few plats in them. You know, you're trying to sell a horse, you're trying to present yourself. Presentation is absolutely everything. That's like me coming on here in my pajamas and being like, oh sure, what about it? You know, I'll just, you know, go through, I know what I'm doing, I'm the best at what I do. No, I still have to show up, fix myself, you know, present yourself in a certain way. So presentation is huge, especially with horses. Take that time.
And I suppose you should think as well about who your customer is and who you're trying to appeal to, and what it is about what you're selling that you're trying to appeal with as well too. I mean, there's no point in trying to sort of demonstrate that, you know, an animal is kind of, I suppose, not what it is.
Yeah.
You know,
you have to be authentic with what you're trying to sell and what the horse is, but definitely, you know, tidy them up a bit, you know, is huge, because sometimes they don't do them justice. And take that bit of time when you're videoing. Don't be like, oh, he's not standing, you know, at that, don't bother. Take that time to get the horse standing square, you know, or move to a nicer location, go on the road, you know, go to a cleaner area, you know, try and get clean walls in the background, not too busy, keep it simple, you know. Hugely, people just want to see the horse. They can decide, you know, after a second if they want to see it. Same applies to any products as well. Just keep it simple. What are you trying to show the customer, you know, and keep it simple on video. Same with images. A huge point for images is clean your lens. A lot of people have foggy lenses and a bit of dirt in them they don't see. Just clean the lens of your phone, you know. It's you'd be surprised how better your images will come out if you just clean your lens. So yep, again, clean the horse. Don't over filter. I see a lot of people doing their own stuff and they over filter and over, you know, use all these filters on Instagram. The phones are unbelievable power at the minute. They don't need over filtered. So just try and keep it simple as possible for the content. Any questions?
All good advice. All good advice.
Yeah.
We're at 9:15, so I'm going to push you onwards.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So yeah, we're nearly there. So yeah, so this is, I'm going to go on to examples now of, I don't know if some of you have seen this. This is of a big star foal that I did for Matthew Breen, and it, you know, sold for I think 20,000 in the maybe over in Cavan. So, you know, the video now, the foal is stunning, you know, and you know, we just helped do it justice and bring it to life and help market it. But the feedback he got, like he got feedback from people that were saying, you know, really very, you know, high up in the industry feedback. Literally met and be like, I've never bought a foal in my life, but I really wanted to buy that foal, you know. And it's all from just the foal obviously was top notch, but you know, having it marketed right. So I'm just going to show you the video here that we did. So can everyone see my screen?
Present this big star filly foal to the Cavan Elite Foal Sale, lot number 20. Big Star Stallion needs no introduction, being one of the best show jumping horses in the world, winning gold medals and numerous accolades under Nick Skelton over the years. Big Star passes on his incredible ability, technique and temperament to his progeny. This particular filly foal is presenting just that. With elevated movements in walk, trot and canter, her composition is to perfection and her temperament is excellent. This Big Star filly's dam line includes Liz Rona 2, dam of Hasty Exit that completed 160, and the world-famous Cruising, winner of the Atkin Grand Prix in 1999 with Trevor Coyle. The dam is Jamira, a mare by Douglas, the mother of Thomas Court Atlantis, who is competing to 150, and Thomas Court Emirates competing to 145. Thomas Court Atlantis is a super talented 9-year-old gelding who jumped a world ranking class clear last year in Portugal with Matt Pike. This filly foal is half-brother to Thomas Court Emirates, who is by Pacino out of Douglas mare Jamira and has been competing in Europe with Alex Bishop successfully. Thomas Court Emirates has had
So I'll stop it there, but you get the gist that, you know, we have all the top, sorry, go ahead, Wendy.
No, I was just going to ask you, like, you know, with that, I mean, obviously you had there was a deadline in mind, there was a sales deadline, public auction deadline. How far ahead of that did the work start to, you know, put this together and to, you know, like what was your advice to the client as far as the timeline relative to the sale to engage in that online campaign and so forth as well?
So it took us maybe 3 months in total for that. But what I would advise, it all depends on the foal, the mare and the foal. They need to be looking well. They need to be, you know, at their best performance whenever we video it. So definitely allow for, you know, give yourself a month, 2 months so that we can get the shots and do the edit. But look, roughly it all depends time wise, because you want to market it. We marketed it for about 2 months. Then after that, you know, we had a good month solid of just pushing it. So you need to allow yourself the time to shoot it, especially for getting the likes of Epic Management in. You need the shoot day, you need, you know, to get the pictures, you need the editing process. Then the client needs to assess it. You know, maybe we added, you know, for example, that one now, that's a real high end one because we had so many different progeny of horses going in. So we needed to get the right jump dumps, you need to get the right, you know, information. And then we had a voiceover as well on it. So that took time. So in all about 3 months, just over maybe over it. But and then you need to give yourself time to market it. So you need to be solid for a month before the sale, pushing it, putting in the Irish field, you know, all those kind of things, you know, if you have a special one like that. But even at that, you can push yourself and do automated ads on Facebook, you know, too. So yeah.
That's something actually I meant to ask you about as well, you know, the boosting and so forth and paying for adverts and things like that, you know, how important is it to engage with that, or how much can that benefit you?
So boosting, I'm not crazy about it. I think boosting is very much just a bit of a money spinner for Facebook. They're like, yep, give us 20 quid and we'll, you know, put it to this audience. But who is your audience? So the best thing I think is automated ads. So that's going into your ads manager, which is doing your Facebook on the laptop. So you go into your ads manager and do an automated ad. Take the time to do an automated ad. You'll get far more benefit out of just, if you just boost it, it's kind of throwing good money after bad. Sometimes it's good if you're doing a product, like if you're doing a coffee shop, local coffee shop, 30-mile radius, you want to, you know, hit people, 30-mile radius doing coffee, fine for a boost. But not in the equine industry. You need to be a bit more specific, you know, of who you're trying to target, what you're selling. So automated ads, I would suggest are better. But look, if it's just a boost, do boost it because it will help to a certain extent, but don't put all your money in boosting, I would suggest. Just want to show you Instagram, my Instagram here. So again, you have your icon as your profile picture, really loud there, and then you have your elevator pitch in your bio. So hi, that's a really engaging thing. Like hi, you know, you draw people in straight away and kind of be a person. You don't have to be this corporate, you know, stale thing online. You have to try and become a personality. So hi, we build your brand. That's exactly what we do. And then there's all the things that we do. So again, we have kind of, you know straight away that it's equine. Then we have tips. We have some lovely visuals. And then now, obviously, because we're a marketing agency, we're going to have beautiful colors, and we try and keep the grid within that, you know, black. We have that lovely cream and white. But again, you know, you don't have to, once you have some nice images and videos, that's the least of your worries, is trying to keep your grid right. I'll touch on the highlights here. If you can see, you know, logo, websites, epic tips, social branding, these highlights are quite important. If you just have maybe, you know, let's say you have stallions, products, whatever you have there, put it in as your highlights and put the team there. Highlights is a key thing for people just landing on your page. I'm going to go to TikTok now to try and just show you briefly the TikTok while we're on the socials. So this is Epic's TikTok. Again, and when you guys are off this call, make sure and go and follow Instagram, follow the Epic Instagram. And when you're on TikTok, follow us on TikTok. You'll see it there, Epic Management. So again, I just have a picture of myself up in it. I think with TikTok, you need to engage a bit more, you know, and show yourself. So you'll see a few things there. I'll click into one. So yeah, you can see the views range with the algorithm on TikTok. You can see one of 50,000 views, then the one beside only has 400. Then you see one of 20,000, 12,000, and then there's
now, what drives that? Like, what's the difference? You know,
so the algorithm.
How do you push? How do you set yourself up for the bigger reach?
So there's no right answer to that. I would say content needs to be on point. So for example, I put a reel of Jack Ryan jumping in Geneva, and it on Instagram Reels, it reached 103,000 views, which is massive. And then I put it up here and it has 500 views.
That's
you know,
bad. Yeah, that's the bit I find difficult to rationalize sometimes with all of this. Yeah.
And then I put up this unreal stallion, this stallion called $1 Million. It's a stallion Sophie Hinners is riding. It's the next big thing. It's one of the Holstein stallions. And it got maybe 6,000 views on Instagram. And here it's 399 views, like, you know, and the content's unreal. I'll just show it to you here, actually.
You really need to live your life and open your eyes. And you don't want to wake up with no memories and never really being able to.
So with TikTok, you have different trends that are happening, and it is, I don't want to blow your minds with the TikTok, but it is there's trending music, which is easy to find. It is, you know, it's there. It asks.
Yeah, how do people go about that? You know, how do they?
it shows you what's trending, what the viral music is, and you just pick that music. So example, we were down in Ballypatrick with stallions recently, and I just did the behind the scenes here, and it nearly has 20,000 views. So this is a trending song at the minute. So that would have helped, obviously, with the really interesting content. The song was good. So let's press that now.
Patrick Stable, Ireland.
It is a mad world.
So yeah, so that's, you know, it's okay to be fun and have cool music and engage. That's what people want to see, you know. So that's what I'd say to people. You don't have to be corporate about it and try and make everything, you know, really. You have to be authentic. Be your authentic self, you know, over your.
Because what I sometimes think, you know, I mean, I know tonight on this call, there's probably, you know, there's probably breeders out there that maybe have 2 mares, 3 mares, you know. I mean, like, it's quite a different kind of an establishment to
Yes.
the likes of, you know, we can see in front of us here the Dennis Lynches and the Ballypatricks and what have you that are, you know, out there on a different scale. You know, what are your tips to somebody like that who has that smaller enterprise but is trying to kind of, you know, keep some degree of interesting feed going, and it can be harder to collate that when you're, you know, in a you're probably very busy doing what you're doing as well too.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's trying to dedicate that bit of time to get your content, take pictures. And I think it's so unique and such an amazing industry that we're in with the person who has 2 mares. That's all you need. You need 1 horse. I've had 1 horse this 10 years and he should have his own Instagram, you know. That's all you need. Horsey people are crazy, you know. They just love horses. They want to see what you're doing. They want to know all about that mare. They want to see, you know, the confirmation of that mare. You know, it's you tell the story. Everyone has something to sell on small scale and big scale, and we all have the same opportunity online. You have the access to free account on TikTok, free Instagram, free Facebook. It's your time that you need to dedicate to put that content up, or invest in Epic Management, and of course we'll do it for you. But that's you know, it's all about where you're going to put your time into. Are you going to put your time into the marketing of it? And that's what I would say to that. I think, you know, obviously Ballypatrick is a huge establishment, but everyone still has the same opportunities to post. If anything, they're so busy they haven't got time to post, you know, so there's so much going on. I would say the person who only has the 2 mares, use whatever time you have there to start telling us about those mares, you know, and tell us your story and put some time into this, you know.
A question in here, what apps do you recommend for editing videos?
One Shot is good. I would say One Shot. iPhone is still brilliant. The iMovies, you know, keep it simple. There's so many apps out there that will just make it more confusing for you. So One Shot's good, but I would keep iMovies if you just want to cut and do slow-mos, you know, keep it to iMovies. You can do some nice transitions there too, you know.
There's maybe a more difficult question in here, in the sense of what's the legal stance of using, let's say, images or videos of others' horses, like in a video that you know somebody else has produced, and using it for your own video, and how do you go about getting such footage but with good quality? I mean, you know, so you're not about, you know, you can't be using other people's footage for your own purposes. Yeah.
A lot of people don't mind because they're getting promoted. Example there on Matthews, all those riders and all those horses and the breeders of those horses and anyone who's connected with any of those horses were getting promoted. A lot of the time it's just asking them, is it okay if we use this video in a promotion, and asking them to give sign off on it. That's even with all the big stations. You'll always see a bit of a copyright, footage supplied by, you know, BBC or something like that. Same if you want something, a Clip My Horse video, you ask Clip My Horse, or you buy it for €10, you buy like a high-res video of Clip My Horse, but always just say, you know, video by. If you just put a caveat at the end of any of your posts of who owns the pictures, you know, and tag. Example, people who use Epic Management's photos, I don't mind using them once Epic Management is tagged and photo by. Once you give the credit from where the things are from, then usually it's okay. Now we're at 9:30 now, folks. So what would you like to
There's
do?
quite a number of questions that we haven't got to here. I'll go back up to the top of my list.
Let me have a look. Let me have a look here.
Yeah, so how or where to create a website, you know, where to get started. You can, obviously that's something that you guys do. If somebody's, you know, in this instance, they're talking about an agricultural show and getting active for that purpose.
So how or where to create a website for an agri show. So Wix.com is quite good. Now you'll always have to pay online. There's no such thing as anything really is really free. You know, the social medias, they're using your data. But so you will have to pay, I think it might end up €200 a year possibly. But Wix is quite simple to do. I suggest for that. I just see a question down here about online, something about
A lot of the upper ones we've answered. Can you talk about a rough cost for creating a logo?
So if you contact me directly, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
So anything, if anyone wants to work with Epic Management, email me or WhatsApp me and we'll talk offline on that. I see one here. How do you balance showing your strengths but be humble too? Great.
Good
Thanks,
question.
Neve.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Neve. So basically, that's a huge thing I find in the equine industry, and people are very much like they don't want to brag. You have to be authentic to yourself. You know, you have to put yourself out there. No one thinks online that you're bragging anymore. Gone is that stigma. You know, you're just trying to show that you're jumping a horse, you're competing, you're whatever you're doing. You're just trying to put it out there, and even take it away, put it into the third person. So don't say I did well today. Say the horse did well, and you know the horse won a class. You know, and really, you know, take yourself maybe out of it if you don't want to say that. Look at me winning this class. Just say, you know, Bob did great today jumping his 130, or you know, that kind of way. So take yourself out of it, but because at the end of the day you are promoting the horse, but be authentic. Nothing lasts forever. So how well you're doing at the minute, you need to blow about it. You need to tell people, because especially in this industry, horses get injured, things go wrong, businesses close, cash flow dries out. So you have to have this opportunity. Get rid of that stigma, put yourself out there. And I just want to say, Neve, you said great talk, thanks. I really want people to send in some testimonials from this talk. So let me know, like so this is me marketing what you need to do with your clients as well. It'd be like, tell me what did you like about the talk, you know, comment on Epic Management's Facebook and let me know what you think of the talk. I'd love that. I must actually take a picture of it here as well. And take time to take opportunity to take pictures. So like I'm going to take a picture now of us doing that. You know, sometimes you're in the motion of something, you think, oh, I'll get a picture later. Stop, take the picture and be like, oh, just wait there, guys. We're taking a picture, you know. Take control of situations.
Sorry, Emma got her hair done tonight and I didn't. Go on.
Yeah, I'm always ready for a picture. I'm always ready. But
if someone posts content of my foal's half brother or relative on Facebook or Insta, can I put that in my video? Or what's the copyright or repost issue?
Absolutely, Ruth. If your foal is mentioned anywhere, you repost that. That's if anything is online on socials, you are able to reshare that. The only time you're not able to reshare things is the Olympics, when they have the rights completely, like there's a blackout period in the Olympics. So anything that's on Facebook and Instagram, if you're mentioned, they should tag you, and you contact them, be like, hi, can you tag me in that video? They will tag you, and then you share it onto your page. But never be afraid to communicate. That's what social is all about, being social. So a lot of people just are so blinkered about what they're doing, you know, that they forget about mentioning, you know, if you're introduced into their foal or their, you know, contact them and ask, hi, I see my foals there, can you mention me, and you know, reshare.
Do you have any tips for somebody who's trying to present themselves as a rider rather than as a business, even though I would still see a rider? I mean, that is a business, it's just a different kind of business.
Everything's a rider. So you're selling yourself as a service. So what you need to do is, so who are you? So what's your experience? Do you ride young horses? Do you compete at top level? Do you produce young horses? What's your speciality? So that is putting, again, in Instagram, if you're a rider, and putting up pictures of yourself and say, just, you know, I really enjoy the breaking process. you know, of horses. I really enjoyed the growth of whether it's young horses, or what do you enjoy? So it basically is, if you're a rider, why are you a rider? Do you love horses? Do you want to compete at top level? You know, and reach out to people. If you're a rider, depending on what discipline you're in, go and follow whoever. What's your dream? Do you want to ride with, I don't know, Keen, let's say? Contact Keen, tag him and be like, would love to be there. You know, ring him and say, look, I'm a rider, do you need any riders? Contact people on social, DM everybody, and if you're looking for work, you know, and never just assume that people don't want you, you know. Ask, and you have to just be get comfortable with rejection as well, you know. So what if someone says, no, I don't need a rider? That's fine. They're not going to come looking for you. You have to ask, you know. Now, we could talk forever here, so we just need to manage it, Wendy. People,
no, that's okay. There's one comment in from somebody as well. Weebly is free for building websites and very user friendly. I don't know if you've any experience with that. Weebly.
Not mad on Weebly. Wouldn't be mad on Weebly. I know it's a platform. But it's still, you have to find what you're comfortable building on. If you like the kind of outlay of Weebly, then go for it. But try a few. There's a lot of free periods that you get with websites, so test them out, see what you think. But don't get trapped either by subscribing and get a lot of them. You get caught into payments. I know someone who got stuck with Wix for a long time and wasn't even using the site. So just see what works for you.
So, like, I mean, at the end of the day, what's coming across loud and clear to me from you is, you know, you've got to invest time in this, and you've got to invest in this as well too. You know, I mean, it's important to put yourself into the digital sphere, and if you're going about it, I suppose, you know, like somebody who's maybe starting out, it's to bite off the chunks that you can manage. Do it in stages. You don't have to be on everything or doing everything all at the one time. You can start things, you know, start in easy. If you're to say to somebody who's at ground zero right now, you know, what's most important for them to pay attention to at the very, very beginning?
So get on Instagram. That would be.
And for somebody who is maybe on Instagram, doing a little bit, post a bit, but, you know, maybe frequency wouldn't be, you know, consistent and so forth. What's the message there?
It's up to yourself. Do you want the business to continue? Do you want to sell your service? You really have to take a bit of responsibility and accountability for your business. You can't just say, oh, I don't know about this marketing. You have to either go and invest in, you know, images and good content and get someone to do it for you, or take the time and put up a post on Instagram and really start taking a bit of control of the situation. It's all at your fingertips. The majority of it is free. So it's a case of opening your mind and embracing the change, and don't be afraid. No one is going to condemn you online. You know, you need to just put up keep it simple. That's all you have to do. Yes, there's a lot, you know, we covered tonight, but just if you can keep it simple and just tell your story, you know, be authentic to what you're trying to do, and then you can't go wrong.
And it's probably pretty much the same answer, but, you know, for somebody who is maybe on socials, has a reasonable website and all of that, but are finding like the traffic is just not coming, or the engagement on posts is just not where they'd like it to be. Mm-hmm. What tend to be the issues there, or what tends to be the kind of, you know, the advice in those scenarios? So
change your style then. Do some more videos. Try and do something different. You know, if you're not getting much on your page, what you're doing now, consistency is key though. If you can keep consistent and, you know, copy what your competitors are doing, go and look at someone who's identical in what you do and recreate. You don't have to recreate the wheel. You know, you just have to do something. Take someone who's doing it really well and be like, okay, I can show my horse doing that too, and just do it your own way. It's not a copy situation. You're getting an idea to show your own kind of take on it.
Well, listen, Emma, I think you've given lots and lots of useful little tips to people. I know it's, you know, it's kind of like we can't get into the nuts and bolts of everything here in this, you know, short scenario. I know that, excuse me, that you do other webinars, and, you know, you can get into the meat of things a little bit. I don't know if you want to give it a little bit of a shout out to some of the other things that you do.
Yeah, so it's again, I did have one scheduled, but we haven't got the time. But like, there is webinars that I sell tickets to that are much more in depth. So we're going to do a special one specifically just on Instagram, one just on websites, one just on Facebook, and then one just on content creating. So that's this year. We really need to. We're going to do that and make sure that, you know, let's say if you're interested in Instagram, that you can buy a ticket for that and really get as much meat out. And we do a Q&A, which is actually in person at the end, that you get a lot out of, and you get then the slides at the end. So again, I haven't got the dates for it. I'm hopefully going to get it set up for maybe February, March, or that as soon as we can, because there's a huge demand for it. You know, people.
But people can keep in touch on your socials, can't they?
Yes. I need to see all loads of likes coming through now on that Instagram. I put 100 there. I want to see 100 new followers.
Yes, absolutely. So look, from my part, I say huge thanks to you for your time. I say also huge thanks to our audience tonight, because everybody has really taken on board the engagement factor and pushed in the questions there. So that's been really appreciated. And I certainly, you know, if anybody wants to follow up afterwards, or, you know, your own contacts are there if anybody wants to get in touch with you, I know you'd really welcome that as well too. Yeah. So huge thanks, Emma. And before everybody disappears, just to say that our next webinar will be on the 1st of the month again, the 1st of March, the first Tuesday of March. And my guest on that night will be Jenny Henderson, who is a resident vet at Ballylynch Stud down in Tip, and also Carmen Welch, who's a vet with Teagasc Equine Clinic. So the discussion on that night is going to be everything around foals and keeping your foals healthy and all of that. Have I smile again? Oh, Emma, I can't keep up. I can't keep up. So look at sorry, do you want to make any parting comment before you go?
Just keep it simple, everybody. That's don't over complicate things. Everyone is unique. Everyone has something to say online, on socials. So just do it. That's it. And the best of luck for 2022 with everyone's businesses and brands and competing. So best of luck.
Well, I think that definitely is a motto to have in place for 2022, is just do it. We've been so long cooped up now at this stage. Yeah. We just need to just get out and just do it and enjoy the year ahead. Yeah, indeed. So listen, it is good night from Athenry in County Galway, and thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Bye.